Hello and then welcome to Farm with Samuel. I will be bringing you this edition of Farm with Samuel that I call the Farmer Education. So I'll be sharing with you, some of the important things that you need to know as agriculture is concerned or as farming is concerned. There are certain things that as a farmer you need to know that will help your production. So today I'm going to share something with you about fertilizer. You know that we have organic and inorganic types of fertilizer. So I want to share with you why organic fertilizer is better for crops and then soil improvement. If also you want to learn more about agriculture, just search on nobwa.com. You get anything related to agriculture that will help your production. So I just want to share with you why organic fertilizer is better for crops and then soil improvement. What at all do we mean by fertilizer? Fertilizers are substances that supplement plants with vital nutrients and then help plants in their development. So as I said, there are two types. We have organic and then inorganic. So we want to look at the organic part of the fertilizer that is better for crops and then soil improvement. When we talk about organic fertilizers, there are fertilizer that originates or even comes from anything that is organic or any source that is organic. You can give us examples as manures and then compost. You can get these manures from cow dung, poultry, and then other livestock that you rear. Then you can get these manures from them. Then compost is mostly that you gather them and then you specifically make them to use on the farm. So I want to share with you why the organic fertilizer is better for crop and then soil improvement. One of them also, we will talk about the advantages and then the disadvantages of it. But as any agriculture expert will tell you that organic fertilizers is better for crop development and then soil improvement. But our farmers using it, you want to know why? Here is the best place to know why farmers don't like to use organic fertilizers. That will be best said when it comes to the disadvantages. But let's go on to the advantages of why organic fertilizers are best or better for crop development and then soil improvement. One of the advantages is that the nutrients are slowly released, and it is difficult to over fertilize your crops. In other way, not to harm your crops. Most farmers that apply these inorganic fertilizers sometimes over apply, and by so doing, for example, like vegetables, let me make an example of tomatoes. If tomatoes is over fertilized or giving much nitrogen, the shelf life of the tomatoes or the fruit is reduced. So if it is organic fertilizer that you are using, it is not going to be over fertilized. So in this way, its action will be released very, very slow, which makes the whole process very, very nice, and then you don't harm your crops. Aside releasing nutrients for the plant's growth, it also improves soil structure. Why are we saying organic fertilizers improve soil structure? The continuous application of them will improve water and the nutrients retention of the soil and then improve activities of beneficial soil organisms. You know that there are some organisms within the soil that helps with the activities that goes on under the soil when it comes to the root development, and then root also enabling the plant to also get their nutrients from the soil. These organisms helps in all those activities. So mostly if we use these inorganic fertilizers, we kind of inhibit the activities of these organisms, thereby not improving the structure of the soil. So organic fertilizers, apart from giving these nutrients to the plants or helping the plants achieve its nutrient requirements, it also helps improve the structure of the soil. And also they are very environmental friendly, sustainable, renewable, and then biodegradable. There are some inorganic fertilizers that when applied, as I said, it inhibits the activities of some microorganisms in the soil. But because organic fertilizers are environmentally friendly, it helps the activities of these organisms within the soil. And also, as I said, it is biodegradable, it is easily decomposed. In as much as if you use inorganic fertilizers on your crops until it rains, you have to wait for rains to come before even you apply, or when you apply, until it rains, the action or the work of inorganic fertilizers is very difficult to see its effects on the crops. But if you use organic fertilizers like manures on your crops, as day by day the nutrients are being released slowly. As I said, they are very degradable, so they are decomposed in a slow manner that will help your crop development and also help other organisms to also do their work to help your crops. One other thing that I also want to say is that you avoid the condition of toxic build of chemicals and then salt. These chemicals and salt are not good for plants, and more so they can wash into nearby waters and underground waters, making them unhealthy for consumption by man or animals. Chemicals are very toxic, and it is very harmful to human beings and then animals. As we apply inorganic fertilizers on our crops and then it rains, we have some of the parts that are being washed into our river bodies or even our water bodies, which animals will go and drink. People will also go and fetch the same water for food preparation. So in this case, indirectly we are taking in the chemicals into our system, which is very harmful to the human beings and also the animals as well. So if you use organic fertilizers in place of inorganic fertilizers, you just do away with these harmful substances getting into our river bodies and also being very harmful to our animals and the human beings. So these are some of the few things I just want to share with you when it comes to the advantages of using organic fertilizers on your crops, which helps the crops for better yields and also improve the soil structure. So we just want to recommend to our farmers that just continue using organic fertilizers. Then this will also help you use your land for a very long time, because if you use organic fertilizers and then they are able to help improve your soil structure, there's no way you are going to leave your land where you are farming to go to another place, leaving your land to fallow before you come back to work on it again. So we encourage farmers that let us practice the use of organic fertilizers, and then it will help our crops and then improve our soil structure. So I just want to quickly touch on some of the disadvantages in using organic fertilizers. They say everything that has an advantage also has disadvantage, but some of the disadvantages are better than others. So I want to share with you some 3 points that Mr. Afranike say, put down on enobua.com. So one, the disadvantages of the organic fertilizers. They say it takes time to break down, so it releases nutrients slowly. This does not help in quick recovery of crops. You know that our farmers, uh, whenever they plant their crops, they want to see whatever that they apply on their crops, very quick. So if you want to use organic fertilizers on your field, the results doesn't just come just a day or even a two. If you use inorganic fertilizers on your field like NPK, when you apply it, when it rains, just a few days, you see your crops, changing. If it wasn't green, you see the crops becoming green, or you see the crops change to green. But when you use organic fertilizers, you do not see that, because the nutrients are released slowly. You do not see your results very quick as you may want it. But if you want to really go by using organic fertilizers, you need to start it very early, because it doesn't come just the 3 months that you are producing your crops. And it can take, let's say, within a year before you can see the results. So you need to practice it continuously before you see the results of using organic fertilizers on your crops. So this is one of the disadvantages, but if you make an effort that you want to practice this, you can do away with your crops not recovering from this nutrients slow release. One other aspect is that it is very bulky. Nutrients level in this kind of fertilizers are relatively low, and so it requires larger quantities to reach plant requirements. You need as much as you want. If let's say you have to use 5 grams per plant, if you are using inorganic fertilizers, that means you have to use twice or even more than 2 times using organic fertilizers on your crops. So it means that if you are going to apply organic fertilizers on your crop, you have to increase the rate, and the rate of application should be increased so that the crops will get the enough nutrients that it needs for its development, for better yield. And then the last point that I want to share is that the microorganisms require warm and moist conditions to break down the release of nutrients. So during the day and cold seasons, the activities of microorganisms is substantially reduced, and so the effectiveness of the fertilizer is limited. So this will help you on the type of fertilizer that you have to use. But I believe that the points that I've stated clearly will make you as a farmer determine whether to use inorganic or organic fertilizers. But to be able to be sustainable, using your land for a long time, it is advisable that you go by using organic fertilizers on your farm, which will help you and then ensure that you have better crops and then better soil, and then your soil will be improved. So this is the reason why organic fertilizers are better for crop and then soil improvement. So I encourage you, let us all farmers practice the use of organic fertilizers for safe environment, and then to also improve our soils, make our land very sustainable so that we can farm or grow for a very, very long period of time without leaving our farm to fallow to find another land for production. So this is a few that I want to share with you why organic fertilizers are better for crop and then soil development. So if you want to know more about what I'm talking about, just visit inobua.com. Then you get the best out of whatever that you want to learn about agriculture. My name is Samuel. If this is the first time that you are listening to me or you are watching me on this channel, this is Farm with Samuel. Do well to go to YouTube or all other social media platforms, search at Farm with Samuel, subscribe and share for others to see the best when it comes to education, everything about agriculture, you get the best to help your crop development and whatever that you are doing when it comes to agriculture, to improve whatever that you are doing. So my name is Samuel. This is Farm with Samuel. Just join us. Let us plant today and harvest tomorrow.